Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. A very warm welcome to tonight's live show. The floor is yours. What do you want to talk about? This is the first full day of the release of the Flash movie. If you're going to see the movie, I hope you enjoy it. Some people will, some people won't. Some people will go with the intention of enjoying it. Some people are going to go with the intention of watching it. That's just the way it is. So the preview box office was about 9.5 million for Thursdays. Pretty strong. That would say that domestically, it may come in above projections at 80 million domestically. But when you start comparing it with Guardians Volume 3, that still isn't great. Guardians Volume 3 opened up domestically to 120 million. And the international box office so far isn't very strong, but it's early days. This time tomorrow, we'll have a better picture of how this movie will open up globally. Bobcat, wow, was that movie some garbage? Come on, Bobcat. Tell us what you thought of the movie. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. For me, the strongest element of that movie was Ezra Miller with the two Barrys, the formulation of the friendship and the bond and the mentorship. That was the strongest element of the movie. The movie did feel wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. It felt like that. We go straight into the action. I don't know what was going on in the opening. I don't even know how the hospital was falling down. I don't really know what was happening. I know Batfleck was chasing after those guys. I don't know what those guys had done. Was it a bank robbery? Maybe my concentration levels weren't great. Kal-El, John DJ Desjardins, who worked on the VFX for Snyder's film, did VFX for The Flash. Yes, I know. I'm not sure he was in control over the whole project or specific scenes, but the VFX aspect is surprising. Well, you can have the best paintbrush and the best paints, but without the artist, Kal-El, who usually uses the paint and the paintbrush, it isn't going to be the same. Now, the VFX situation, you are correct, is absolutely mystifying. McRib Primal, Flash budget is close to $350 million. I said it. I can't support the movie or give a penny to the success of Ezra the Stain Miller. Not a penny. And that is your prerogative, my friend. Bobcat, Ezra Miller acting with himself and the mom storyline was the strongest. Keaton, Calais was awesome. Calais just had not enough time. Let me just talk to you about Flashpoint Supergirl. In the graphic novel and the animated movie, we see Flashpoint Superman very weak. And you know, he's been starved of sunlight. He's weak. He can barely talk. It takes him a lot to pluck up the courage in the end to be heroic, to have the energy. When we see Flashpoint Supergirl in the Flash movie, she's suddenly up and about and everything is easy to her. But in terms of Calais' performance, she did really well with the little she was given. Charles Austin, well, Weta Digital was primarily most responsible for the VFX for Snyder's movies. But as I said earlier, you can have the best paintbrush, the best paint, but without the artist using those tools, you know, it isn't going to always be the same result. McRib, but I do hope others enjoy it. That's very gentlemanly of you. Kal-El, Weta Digital. Bobcat, the ending felt very rushed. So, yeah, you've got the whole sequence in the desert. So in Man of Steel, we go to the desert and basically Zod wants Superman to go on the ship. And then Faora goes, we want the woman to come as well. And we get that brilliant dynamic between Faora and Colonel Hardy. I absolutely love Chris Maloney in Man of Steel. So they have the end battle all there. And we had the whole thing where they keep on going back in time. They did that on purpose because people complained about Man of Steel and the collateral damage. Look, the film doesn't have a villain. Simple as that. Black Flash is barely a villain. Zod is barely a villain. If you didn't watch Man of Steel, you wouldn't understand what was going on with Zod. Bobcat, the VFX were really bad in some parts, and on purpose excuse is so stupid. WB just wouldn't let them delay anymore. McRib, if this movie bombs, what's the most likely reason? Oh, there's loads of reasons, McRib Prime. The first one is obviously Ezra Miller. The DC stands are supporting it, but yet again, this will be the 6th movie, if it flops, that hasn't been supported by the general audience, and they're the reasons. Charles Austin, correct, Mick. Snyder is not a movie director. He's an artist, visionary. Just so happens he knows how to direct. Well, listen, Zack Snyder, in terms of his narrative, does it in ways where everyone doesn't appreciate what he's doing. But no one can deny the man's presentation. Now, Machete's strengths, as I put in the comments earlier before I came on live, are in gaining an actor's performance. But clearly, VFX isn't his strong point. Now, I understand what he's saying about the cameos and the multiverse bit. You know, it's like it's wet. It's from Barry's point of view. I get what he's doing there. And the Nicolas Cage bit. Nicolas Cage's Superman bit was absolutely outstanding. And that was my favorite moment. Bobcat, killing Keaton and Calais was not necessary. Well, as I said to you last night, originally, they're supposed to be in the ending, which lessens the blow, but kills the point of them dying in the first place. Kal-El, for a movie that's been in production for 4+ years, it's bad luck to have unfinished parts. WBD is a terrible studio. Well, I said this when they said they were delaying it to improve the VFX, and I called bullshit. And nobody believed me. John, hi Mick. Very good evening to you, John. Welcome to Movies TV Mad. McRib Prime, do we think Gunn coming in, firing Cavill and scrapping everything has something to do with it? It's nothing to do with the book. Listen, the Snyder fans have been boycotting DC since Snyder was driven out. That's been a thing. Henry Cavill being omitted from the movie. From the very beginning, Henry Cavill was never going to be in that movie. That is fundamentally damaging to the movie, considering you've got Affleck in the movie. Now, in terms of his Batman action sequences, they were cool. But in terms of what I saw with Bruce Wayne, I wasn't overly impressed with that. And they literally ripped the lasso gag from Justice League and gave it to Batman this time. Now, I actually think that Momoa pulled that gag off a lot better than Affleck did. Affleck's strengths are not comedy. I thought it was bad. Bobcat, the cameos were cool in theory, but the execution didn't work that well. The Nicolas Cage one was funny, though, if you've seen that Kevin Smith story. I just enjoyed it, to see his Superman in action, and I like the way all the people from the multiverses, different Earths were looking on at the two Barrys. It was a very good moment. I actually enjoyed it. McRib Prime, evening, Kal-El. Long time, buddy. Kal-El, McRib. Kal-El Cavill is a real one. I respect that guy. McRib Prime, I'm a Snyder fan. I just can't support The Flash for reasons I've given. Kal-El, he kept that moustache. What moustache? You're talking about the Henry Cavill? Well, he had to. That was nothing to do with Cavill. That was to do with Paramount. They insisted he keep the moustache. But if they just allowed Zack to finish his movie instead of betraying him and bringing in another director with reshoots, the moustache wouldn't have been an issue. Now, would it? What they did to Snyder came back to haunt them. And it's karma. Simple as that. We'll see what kind of box office they get. But I love how these analysts are not comparing the Flash box office, to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Because Guardians Volume 3 box office is tremendous. Kal-El, wasn't that a Tom Cruise movie too? Yes, that was a Tom Cruise movie. Yes, he was the villain in that movie. John, Blue Beetle is the first character of the new DCU. Will they keep the same actor? Well, listen, he said it's the first entry point to DC Universe. There's no point in changing Zola. There's no point. whatsoever. He's fresh to the franchise. He doesn't have the histrionics of the other actors. So, yeah, you're going to keep him. There's no reason not to keep him. And if he says that's the entry point, he's definitely going to keep him. You can't change him. Even if the movie bombs, you're not going to change him. It will be small-minded and pathetic, and they're not going to do it. Basically, this year's movies were all about just releasing them, getting them out the way. They don't believe in them, you know. And the promotion and the marketing of The Flash, and you know, and creating the illusion that they had faith in it was all bullshit. This is why they had it. That's why they screened it at CinemaCon, because everyone started saying, "Oh, well, if you screen it at CinemaCon, that must mean they're really confident in it." No, they were trying to create the illusion of having confidence in it. Bobcat, I don't get the point of Aquaman 2 at this point. Do you get the point of any of them? Is there a point in any of them? You know what I mean? McRib Prime, do we think Ezra Miller is now finished as the Flash? I hope so. Well, McRib Prime, the way the movie ends, it's a dead end, isn't it? He's in a universe that's a dead end, because I think we can all say that George Clooney is no way going to be James Gunn's Batman. We all know now, of course, it's official. Andy Muschietti will be directing Brave and the Bold. Gunn and Safran have officially stated he was the only man for the job. I'm calling bullshit on that. They wanted Affleck to direct that film. He said F off. They tried to get an A24 director to come in. He said F off. Basically, he was already there. They know he's a good boy. They know he's a good soldier. They know he's a good studio director. That's why he's getting the gig. Let's see how that works out for them. Kal-El, Blue Beetle might have an embarrassing box office, but it was made for a TV movie, so it could earn a profit. Isn't this the new DCEU way now? Build them cheap? No, not necessarily, my friend. Superman Legacy will no way be able to be built cheap. But Warner Brothers, like all these studios now, are in financial turmoil. So how they do all of this, I don't know. But they've got to make good movies, you know. McRib Prime, Blue Beetle budget is about 100 million, correct? Around that, yeah. It's a cheap movie. It only has to make about 300 million, like Shazam did. The first Shazam was called a success because it was made cheaply. So it doesn't have to make a lot of money. We'll see, because the problem they've got is the general audience are not going to really care about that film either. Us DC stans and nerds are going to watch it and get excited about it, but everyone else isn't necessarily going to be motivated. And this is what DC stans forget when they talk about Blue Beetle coming when there's no competition. Yeah, it's summer, everyone's on holiday, people are not necessarily going to come in to watch a movie about a character they've never heard of. John, the only way we will see Ezra Flash again if they do a Crisis movie. The only way we see him again is if this movie miraculously makes $800 to $1 billion, which is very unlikely. It will be lucky to make 600 million at most. But we'll see, because this weekend will tell us what it's gonna do. Kal-El, Mick, did the missing tooth have meaning? Well, basically, if you paid attention during the movie, the tooth drops out, so he glues it back in, and what happens by then, obviously the glue's strength has run out, and that's why it drops out. But Rib Prime, even then, mate, in Crisis, don't bring him back, full stop. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think they're going to admit it. Now, Ezra made his statement saying he's done as the Flash to make, to give them a... But I don't think he's coming back. I think he's ended up in a dead-end universe. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, that's why Gunn did that with Clooney. That was... the post-credit scene isn't Gunn. That was there already. But the post-credit scene with Clooney, that's Gunn. There's no question about that. He was definitely trying to be funny. John, have you seen Transformers Rise of the Beast? No, John, I have no interest at all. I did enjoy the early Michael Bay movies, but I'm all transformed out, to be honest with you. It's done okay, though, in the box office. But, yeah, I don't have any interest in that. I'm not someone that goes to watch every single movie. Those days have gone because I don't want to waste my money on shit. And even worse, I don't want to waste my money on disposable shit. That's what's important. I can buy a box set to something I'm going to watch over and over again. I don't owe these studios anything like they think we do. We should just support them. No, it's not about supporting you. It's about you entertaining us. And you ain't capable of entertaining us anymore. I mean, I do think the babies being chucked out the hospital was very ill-conceived. Kal-El, Transformers to Gen Z audiences don't mean vehicles into robots anymore. Ooh, controversial. Controversial, my friend. I shall not give an opinion on that. John, will you be watching Beetlejuice when... John, will you be watching Beetlejuice 2 when it comes out? I haven't even seen the first Beetlejuice, to be honest. I've seen the trailers years ago, but I never actually saw that movie. So probably not, no. And it's just another nostalgia grab, isn't it? Michael Keaton in another nostalgia grab. I mean, this one hasn't worked out for them. And let me be honest with you, the Michael Keaton stuff in the Flash movie, everyone's saying it's the best bit about the movie. To me, it's not. I mean, I love Michael Keaton as Batman and Bruce Wayne, but he was never my Batman. And I was never that excited about him coming back. And, you know, for me, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Batman would have had more bite. Morgan did a great job with Negan on The Walking Dead, gave that character bite. That would have been a lot better. But they went for nostalgia. Keaton didn't do much for me. He did okay. He weren't bad, but, you know, as someone said, it could have been any Batman. Kal-El, Beetlejuice was awesome. Why can't Hollywood leave things alone? Because they're lazy, they have no imagination, and they're just all about nostalgia bait now, aren't they? They're all about member berries. So, yeah, because they don't have talent, they don't have imagination. Also, they enjoy rewriting history, right? If something isn't to their liking politically from the old days, they try to redo it and say, oh, well, it's like this now. Kal-El, I might try and remake Citizen Kane. Imagine the backlash. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. I may try and remake all the carry-ons. Mindy Kaling as Barbara Windsor. Kal-El. Kal-El, my son. You have failed me again. John, what are your favourite seasons of 24 and Lost? Well, the first season of 24 is outstanding. I love season 2. Season 3 is brilliant. Season 4 is my favourite. Season 5 is good, although I don't agree with the killing of President Palmer. I thought that really hurt the show, a bit like when they killed, what's her name? In Dexter, when they killed Dexter's wife off. It was a great, cliffhanger, but it upset the balance of the show. Season 6 is probably the weakest season of 24. Day 7 is awesome with Tony coming back as the villain. Day 8's pretty good. Live Another Day is solid as well. Lost, season 1 is the greatest season of Lost. They should have done one limited series. They didn't do that. But even the other seasons, whatever people think of them, are better than any streaming shit we're seeing today. Lost was a revolutionary idea. And the strength of Lost wasn't the mysteries, wasn't the supernatural stuff. It was the revealing of the soul of the characters via the flashbacks. That was very, very powerful. And I am writing an unofficial Lost sequel called Trapped. Nico Kozlov, let me guess, Ben Affleck was your favourite Batman? Or Christian Bale, those Batmans are nearly pointless. The idea of Batman being realistic makes no sense. A grown man dressing as a bat. Hello, Jude. I mean, Nico. Let me read that again, because I wasn't paying attention. I'm assuming you've got some kind of hot take about my views. Let me guess, Ben Affleck was your favourite Batman? No. Or Christian Bale? Yeah, Christian Bale is my favourite Batman. Those Batmans are nearly pointless. The idea of a Batman being realistic makes no sense. A grown man dressing as a bat. I don't really know how to respond to that, Nico. All I can say to you, my point of view, my opinion is that I like all the Batman. I like the 1966 Batman. I love all the Batman. I think they're all great. To me, it's not one Batman versus the other. It's not fantasy Batman versus realistic Batman. That's for you new age propaganda merchants to, argue with each other like little children who embarrass yourselves on social media. For me, I celebrate all the Batmen, all the Supermen, because I'm an intelligent guy with a high IQ, and I don't see it going, well, this Batman's better than that one. Oh no, I don't like Affleck. He's realistic. No, I couldn't give a shit, mate. I love them all. They're all great. Batman's a great character. It's cool for someone to dress up as a bat, fight crime in a crime ravaged area, in an area like besieged of urban blight. I'm not interested in propaganda merchants, Nico. Nico Kozlov, even the Batman from Gotham Knights TV show, I don't watch Gotham Knights, so I can't tell you. Yeah, I'm afraid you didn't corner me there either. Kal-El, you can't replace Sid James. No way. John, Peter Weller was a great bad guy in 24. He really was. My favourite bad guy, let me think who's my favourite. I tell you what, I love Palmer's wife. She was a great little villain, wasn't she? The villains, obviously, to have Dennis Hopper as a villain in day one, John, was outstanding. The villains were always great, but Kiefer Sutherland was the greatest. Not that he was a villain, but he was the greatest. Nico Kozlov, Charles Austin, John, 100%. My favourite spy thriller show of the 2000s. 24 was made like a movie. That's when they started investing in television. They were removing money from movies. That's why movies have been quite mid since the early 2000s. And they were putting money in television, because what happened with the X-Files, people were, binging the VHS like seasons, and they could see the binge culture was starting. So that's why they started putting money into Smallville, 24, Alias, Lost, and all those shows, Prison Break. And that's why those shows were so hardcore and amazing from around 2001 to around 2012, 2013, Genea television in America and even in the UK with Doctor Who, Jekyll, Life on Mars, we were getting a different type of kind of creative telling us very interesting, compelling stories. But 24 was an outstanding show. It was hardcore, it was violent, it was action-packed, it was a psychological thriller. John, what did you think of the actor who played Zod in Smallville? That was Callum Blue. Now, I liked him, but the original idea was to use the actor who played Davis Bloom and played Doomsday in season 8, because the idea was that he was a clone of General Zod. So they were going to bring him back. But the actor, Sam Witwer, who, of course, voices like Star Wars games and Clone Wars and all of that, decided it wasn't a good idea, so he decided not to do it. I disagree with him. I think he would have been an awesome Zod. But I thought Callum did a good job. And season 9 was a very good season, because we had the Smallville movie event, Absolute Justice. Yes, so the Zod stuff was very, very good. We had the Red King, we had Checkmate, we had the White Queen, the Red Queen, Martha Kent was the Red Queen. That was awesome. Nico Kozlov, to me, Daredevil is a better version of Batman. Right, first of all, he's not Batman. He's not a better version of Batman at all. Not at all. He's not Batman at all. He's not that character. He's working class and cares about Hell's Kitchen. Batman is a billionaire. He can change Gotham using his money. Well, he does donate money, but however much money you give, you still need to give more money. So when you give money to a third world country, my friend, you have to give more, because it's never enough. So he gives money through the Wayne Foundation, thank you very much, and he protects the weak in Gotham, being Batman. If you don't want to like Batman, you don't have to like Batman. I love Batman, and that's really the end of the debate as far as I'm concerned. Daredevil's a great idea. But just because someone's wealthy doesn't mean they shouldn't be a hero. That's just such a dumb take as far as I'm concerned. And Bruce Wayne cares about Gotham City as well, just like he cares about Hell's Kitchen. I'm sure you'll love the extremist propaganda merchants destroying the brilliant Netflix show over on Disney Plus. Can't wait for you Marvel stands to see that shit. John, season 1 of Daredevil was great. It was the only great season. The rest was shit. The first season was outstanding. Then it just became a bad impression of itself, the first season. And we know that I don't think they're bringing back all the original cast members either. It's not going to be any good. Disney are making it now, not Netflix. It's not going to be any good. I'm Batman. But for me, The Flash just seemed to be over before it started. Nico Kozla, nothing against you. I just think the best heroes are working class. Well, I don't define people by being working class, rich, black, white, trans. I don't look at people like that. Do I like the character? Do I like what the character represents? Am I compelled that he saw his parents die and then he became, he wanted to do something, wanted to give back something to, back to his community. So I love Batman and I don't care that he's rich. And that's just like, I think that's the Gen Z extreme left argument, isn't he? He's rich. He can save everyone with his money. He can't. It's nonsense. Mad Max, Rocky beats them all. Rocky is outstanding. Rocky proves that Sylvester Stallone can write, direct, and act. The man's a genius. And, that's brilliant. I love every single Rocky movie. And I can't believe they've stabbed him in the back. I haven't even seen Creed 3 yet. I'm Batman. I'm the best. I'm better than any Marvel character. Marvel characters suck. Oh, by the way, to the person who said to me Marvel were getting the rights back to the Hulk, and I disagreed with you, I apologize. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what's happening. And it's bad news for the character. Considering they made him Professor Hulk, that is so... that's heart-destroying. They won't do anything good with Hulk either. Mad Max, did you watch Tulsa King? No, I didn't, unfortunately. Charles Austin, Rosenbaum should have kept his mouth shut. No, I don't agree, Charles, at all. I lost my respect for him. I didn't. Even if he portrayed one of the greatest Lexes of all time. You don't throw shade at other actors like that, that unprofessional. First of all, he's not really throwing shade. He never said anything about Eisenberg, right? Yeah, he was throwing shade at Snyder's vision for the character, but he wasn't throwing shade at a fellow actor. He was saying Rosenbaum's very passionate, especially about Lex, because he played the character, and he does, or clearly doesn't like the direction Zack went in, and that's okay. I think if you've played Lex for the amount of years that Michael did, he has every right to have an opinion, and I don't see it as throwing shade. And what happened was when a minority of Snyder fans started attacking him, it was the biggest L that movement have had in a long time, because I don't think they realized how much support Michael's got behind him. A lot of people love Michael, and he's a really good guy. Mad Max, don't disrespect Bruce Wayne, please. Check Charles Austin, and he's a has-been. You see what I mean? You can't help yourselves, can you? He clearly doesn't want to be in the industry anymore. I don't know why he's not in the industry. Doesn't matter. It doesn't change what he said. It doesn't make him incorrect just because he's not in the industry anymore. It's just rude, Charles. It's just rude because you can't handle an opposing. Because the problem is with a lot of you Snyder fans, you live in an echo chamber and you can't handle opposing opinions, and that's the problem. John, I really enjoyed the Desmond character in Lost. He was fantastic, really well played. Charles Austin, he was throwing shade, bro. Come on, read between the lines. He wasn't throwing shade. He doesn't like the version of that character, and he has every right to say that. And he's not the only one, is he now, Charles? Nico Kozlov, the Rocky movies are good. I like the Creed films a bit better. I don't. Stallone got the same treatment that he did with the author of the Rambo books. It's karma to me. He'd be okay. He's rich. Oh, right. So let's hope that Michael B. Jordan gets the same treatment as well. I'm sure you'll be fine with that. Charles Austin, he was shilling for Gunn, period. He's been friends with James Gunn for many, many years before we even heard of Michael or James. But he was giving his friend an interview. That was a big deal for Michael. You know, James did him a big favor doing that interview. But I don't think Michael did anything wrong. He is a better Lex Luthor than Eisenberg. I do like Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but many people don't like that version of him. I would never have cast Eisenberg as Lex. He ain't Lex, really, right? But at the end of the day, I did like what they were trying to do with Lex in that film. It didn't work. It's over. And Rosenbaum is passionate about that character, Charles, and he has every right to speak about it. But the problem is, you come from an echo chamber, and it's one-sided all the time, and that's the problem. Charles Austin, it's not his opinion, Mick. Everybody can have one. He's on a podcast making Gunn promise not to make Lex like Snyderverse, really. Well, yes, he doesn't like that version. That's the point. He doesn't like the Snyderverse version. Michael McIntosh, Jesse Eisenberg was the worst Lex. Good riddance. I didn't mind him personally, but it is a very popular opinion. Not many people like Eisenberg's Lex. Mad Max, Jesse Eisenberg was amazing. Nico Kozlov, if Bryan Cranston is casted as Lex Luthor, he would be the best one. Yeah, he's a fan casting. I've never really got the obsession with Cranston as Lex Luthor. I personally prefer Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Kingpin, to play Lex. And that is a comic book accurate Lex Luthor. That's the way I would go. I think Vincent would be an absolutely fantastic Lex. Great stature. He could literally play him the way he played Kingpin in the first season of Daredevil. John, what happened to Matthew Fox? Foxy, unfortunately, had a lot of problems. He had a lot of accusations. I think he had some problems with sexual harassment accusations and stuff like that. But Matthew Fox was a sensational actor on Lost. I mean, they all were, because they weren't just learning their lines, John. They understood their characters deeply. When you saw Terry O'Quinn playing Locke, my favorite character, a compelling character, you can see he understands the soul of the character. And that's what was so special about Lost. You don't get that anymore. McRib Prime Transformers, ROTB, easily the best one in my opinion. What, the new one? Do you know what? I really don't like it, right? I mean, it's your opinion, you're entitled to it. When something new comes out, like when there's a new DC movie, The Flash is the best one, or The Suicide Squad's the best one. I don't think it's better than the first Transformers by Michael Bay, personally. Max, I suspect there will be more interviews with Gunn and chums in the future, in which the Snyderverse will get degenerated in discussion. Gunn is very sly at proxy wars. Well, listen, at the end of the day, I love the Snyderverse. Many people love the Snyderverse, but James Gunn has got a hard gig, hasn't he? McRib. So I'm rolling out to Rise of the Beast again this weekend instead of supporting The Flash. Sam Dejan reviews. The Michael Bay movies were terrible. I loved them. By the way, Sam, do you remember when I used to say that Ava DuVernay would never get to make New Gods? And you used to comment on my videos all the time and said I was wrong. Wasn't I right, Sam? I was right, wasn't I, about Ava DuVernay never getting to make those New Gods movies? I was right then, and I'm right most of the time. Nick Kozlov, I hated both Locke and Jack. Why doesn't that surprise me? Why doesn't that surprise me, Jude? I mean, Nico. I hated both Locke and Jack in Lost. The characters were annoying. Syed, Michael, and Desmond were my favourite character. I couldn't stand Kate. Oh, I loved them all. I loved every single Lost character. Loved them. They were all amazing. Better than any characters on Netflix streaming shows, HBO Max streaming shows. Lost was one of the bestest shows ever. Sanders Hughes, I don't care about it. It was obvious they were making the movie. WB announced how many movies and none have happened. Well, but I did say that movie would never happen, and you said it would. That's my point. Mad Max, Gunn came in and destroyed Snyderverse character. He's good boy for the studio. What do you mean? James Gunn hasn't done anything. He hasn't even made a film yet. How could he have destroyed the Snyderverse characters? McRib Prime, Bayformers were horrible. No, loved them. Brilliant. Better than the piece of shit you're trying to hold up, by the way. Much better. had zero idea of why Transformers were believed in the first place. No, not at all. Now, both Knight and Cable Jr. have shown what we should have had in the beginning. No, it's just about a bunch of inclusion, representation bullshit. It's boring, blah-de-blah-de-blah. The continuation of creative bankruptcy in the modern era, McRib Prime. John, the best Transformers movies are the first Michael Bay one and the 1986 animated movie. I agree, John. Sam Hughes, I said it could happen, but not by her. That's not what you said. Nico Kozlov, Lost is better than streaming shows like Succession, etc. That's hot take. It's not a hot take, actually. Lost shits all over Succession. Succession is really overrated. I tried watching the first episode. Talk about a fucking snorefest. Shaky camera, shaky camera. I'm so edgy. I'm doing a show with a shaky camera, man. Mad Max, you ruined Amanda Waller, Imo. She was no. Well, actually, no. Look, I'll give you that. She wasn't as edgy as she was in the first Suicide Squad. But yeah, and he tried to make her a bit of a joke. She was a force to be reckoned with prior to Guns Patrol. You're right. But that's all he's done so far. He does stray to comedy. That's one of the problems with him. You are right. And it works for the MCU, but a lot of DC fans are not going to like it. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. He's here. He's in charge, unfortunately, but the buck will stop with him. His movies and stuff has to make money. He can only tease people for so long. There will be a release date for Superman Legacy. There is a release date. When that movie does come out, he'll have to deal with it. McRib Prime, 1986 movie is the GOAT, but Rise of the Beast has zero to do with inclusion. The humans are no longer the main characters. If you haven't even seen Rise of the Beast, how can you say it's crap? Because I can tell if a movie is going to be any good from a trailer, and that movie doesn't interest me at all. John, I remember watching Lost on Channel 4. Big night. Me and my friends really bonded at the time. My friends at the time really bonded over Lost. So it was a big time because I used to be obsessed because Big Brother, I was obsessed with Big Brother UK at the time. So Lost became big and I was obsessed with the concept of people, strangers being trapped together. And I thought that was a fabulous concept. And Lost was just so compelling. The storytelling was deep. Never about the mystery for me. It was about the characters, the revelation, the revealing of their souls. It was beautiful. We don't get writing that strong. No, the writing for Succession isn't as strong as that. The writing on Succession isn't as strong as the writing on 24. The writing on Succession isn't as strong as Prison Break. The writing on Succession wasn't even as strong as Desperate Housewives, Ugly Betty, or even Alias. We had better shit back in the early noughties, in my opinion. And today, basically, audiences just overrate everything. Oh my God, this is the bestest thing ever. The latest thing is the bestest thing nowadays. And everything is so disposable. One week you'll be going, The Flash, The Flash. Next week you'll be talking about the next film. This is what you lot are like. Nico Kozlov, you don't watch a lot of British shows, do you? Oh, this is definitely Jude, isn't it? Lost writing fell off starting at season 4. Lost depreciated as it went on, but it's still better than any of the shit today. And I do watch British shit. When I'm in the UK, I watch British shit. I don't have a lot of British shit. I don't have access to it here in Cyprus. But yes, I grew up in the UK and watched a lot of British shit. I know more about British shit than you will ever know. I used to watch every soap. I used to watch Minder. I used to watch The Sweeney. I watched Crossroads. I watched Coronation Street, Emmerdale, El Dorado, EastEnders, The Gentle Touch, London's Burning, Casualty, Holby City before they despicably axed it for geographical representation, the twats. So, yes, I know a lot about British television. But super, what do you think about Machete doing Brave and the Bold? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? You know, Gunn wants someone who's going to take his notes, take his instructions and say, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir. Machete's perfect. That's exactly what he did with the Flash movie. Man, so because basically you can't use an auteur for, you know, Gunn's universe, because Gunn wants to be in control of the narrative. You need someone like Machete. So he's a solid choice. We'll see what happens with that movie. Mad Max, Gunn ruined Aquaman. He turned him into a fish sucker. Hilarious. John was 24 ever on UK TV. Yes, it was. It aired on BBC Two. And of course, it was, in the end, Sky bought it. And it was very big on Sky One at the time. Of course, there's no such thing as Sky One now. But yeah, at the time, it was very big. It was on every Sunday on Sky once they took it off of the BBC. And Lost started on Channel 4. Then Sky bought that as well. The bastards. Used to love watching Lost on E4 and Channel 4. That's how I first started watching Smallville on Channel 4. Then it went over to E4. Yes, better shit. Back in the early noughties, we had better TV for sure. But the films have been depreciating and been mid since the early noughties. That's really, and then, you know, a lack of variety today. Mad Max, I doubt WB would hire genius filmmaker Nolan for Elseworlds. Wouldn't that jeopardize Gunn's DCE? Nolan is superior. Well, that's the point, isn't it? You want superior people, don't you? Of course, Nolan's superior. And it's insurance, isn't it? So when I mean if James Gunn fails, you've got Nolan there, haven't you? But listen, Nolan was there at the beginning of the DCEU, and that didn't end up well either, did it? So I think what DC are going to have to admit in the end that, you know, basically standalone trilogies, standalone movies will be much better. Yes, I know you're British, Jude. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are. You know, you're just repeating what you used to say. You're so predictable. You even mentioned the name Jude the other day, and I clicked in straight away. Nico Kozlov. I'm British, mate. I'm British, mate, as well. Midsummer Murders, Inspector Morse, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know. I know. You've told me this all before. What, you know, while you insulted me and you did this and you did that, you're just obsessed. You've just come up with the next identity. It's boring. You don't really want to talk to me. You're not interested. We're not mates. You're a troll, I'm afraid, and you've just come back for more. Come back for more. It's not gonna achieve anything. Mad Max, bring Nolan back. Sam Jones Hughes, I'm tired standalone movies. We had Superman the movie. Superman the movie was in 78, Sam. Batman 89 was a very long time ago. The Dark Knight trilogy, Constantine, Green Lantern, and the Bat. I want characters in the same universe. I don't. It doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for DC in the DC Extended Universe. Do you understand? That's why I'm saying they should stick to what they do best. Because those movies that you didn't like, or you didn't like individual movies, made more money than they did in the DCEU. John, did you ever watch The Muppet Show? I did sometimes. McRib Prime. Mick, honestly, mate, just don't rise to it. Reno Jack. Yo, Mick. Good evening. Sunshine Views. It does work. It's WB can't do it right. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked, though, has it? They've had Snyder, Johnson Berg, Hamada, right? And none of them could do it. Maybe it's time to give up and do what they do best. Strong Arm Fix, Insta like. Bat Super. Keith Dixon, Gunn's plan with Gods and Monsters sounds amazing. Need to give that a chance. Need to wash out the bad taste of the Snyderverse. Strong Arm Fix. What's up, Mad Max? So that's him. So let me show you. That's him there with the N, and that's him there with the K. So I won't be reading anything from there now, and I won't be reading anything from him now. So I'll be ignoring him. Sandra Hughes, that's because they didn't understand the character and story. If they get somebody who understands the character and story, they will succeed. Right. Johnson Berg, Jeff Johns, an iconic comic book writer, didn't understand, right? Then we had Hamada. He didn't understand either. So how many people are you going to go through till it proves that the best thing for DC is to do standalone stuff? It's worked for Joker, better than their connected universe. The Batman has worked better, right? And now Reeves is doing these different things, which everyone's excited about. It's pretty obvious where the future is. You know, even the MCU isn't working anymore. The interconnected universe time and trend is obviously over when you look at the box office. Mad Max, I'm still in shock that the BOP writer is still at DC. Why do they reward failure? It's funny because Gunn's kind of promoted her. It's insane, right? Marig Prime, Snyder was working, and without studio interference in both BVS and MOS2, this would have been very successful, but WB just didn't get it. Yeah, listen, Snyder's plan was an interesting one. There's no question. Sam Jan reviews. James Gunn understands the characters and stories. He can make it work. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see, won't we, Sam? The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So there's no teasing. There's no, it's going to come. He's got to deliver. He's doing Superman. He either makes it successful or he kills Superman in live action forever. Because basically we've had Man of Steel, we've had Superman Returns, and none of it has really worked for everyone. But the last live action Superman to work for everyone was Smallville. That was something that captured people's imagination. Mad Max, Snyder was the best thing for DC. Reno Jack, movie makers can hardly make one single movie cohesive, let alone an extended universe. It's all a mess. You're right, Reno. It is a mess. Mad Max, Sam Dejan, what comic does Peacemaker dance semi-naked in briefs, dancing to cheesy music? Sam Dejan reviews, James Gunn took a bunch of nobodies and made them household names. Zack Snyder had the Justice League and failed with them. That's the difference. He didn't fail. He didn't fail. Because let's look at Man of Steel, 650 million, right? So Man of Steel made the same as their failed Justice League movie, right? Man of Steel made more than Shazam. Man of Steel made more than Birds of Prey, right? Man of Steel made more than the Suicide Squad, right? It made more than Black Adam. It's probably going to make more than The Flash as well. Batman versus Superman nearly made 900 million. And again, that film made more money than most of the films that Hamada and Johns tried to do. So James Gunn is very good with groups and underdogs. But doing Guardians is one thing. And doing Superman and a whole universe is a different thing, Sam. Mad Max, Gunn takes nobodies because he can alter them and deface them with little backlash. Sam Dejan reviews, Guardians made 700 million more than Man of Steel, and the sequels are more beloved than anything Snyder did. Nope, not at all. Not at all. You're totally wrong, as per usual. I think you should go and do another YouTube video, mate. Mad Max facts, Mick. Reno Jack, Guardians had no pressure to succeed. It was a surprise hit, unlike the massive expectation that will come with Superman. Well done, Reno. You've hit the nail on the head. Mad Max, Gunn entered a hot franchise. Loads of crap Marvel films made money. Bat Super, they should have let Sam Raimi do Superman. I think he would have pulled off creating Superman that will please most people. I would have liked to have seen that. Joke's on you, Bab. When Barry enters the Speed Force, he sees the memories from the past events. Barry knocks into Aquaman, that points at him with his finger during well, imagine if it wasn't removed from theatres 3 weeks early. It's a scene from ZL's, not Justice League 2017. I don't know what your point is. Strong Arm Fix. BVS made almost 1 billion. If you add physical media sales, it's like 954 million or something like that. Imagine if it wasn't removed from theatres 3 weeks early. Exactly. They were messing with Snyder constantly. Mad Max, Snyderverse made money. The numbers don't lie. People need to get real. Sam Dejan reviews. You say I'm wrong, yet I was there when Man of Steel and BVS came out. Do you know how bad it was to be a DC fan at that time when Marvel succeeded? They were mocking us. So all you care about is how much money, right, and dick measuring between companies. That's all you care about. You don't care about quality of movies. I don't care if critics and people are saying, oh, DC's bad or DC's good. That's not what it's about. And I know exactly what it's like to be a DC fan, because I've been a DC fan since I saw Superman the movie as a little boy, as I've explained on multiple occasions. Well, the Johnsverse, Baz Madison, and the Hamadaverse failed even more than the Snyderverse did. Facts are facts. Mad Max, Baz critics call The Flash the GOAT superhero movie, is it? No, critics are paid shills. Exactly, Mad Max, exactly. Mad Max knows. Mad Max knows. What's it like to be ignored like a nobody? Look at me, I'm so cool, I'm so good looking, and you're a little dweeb that's getting ignored. I knew who you were all the time, didn't I? I love it. Brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant, isn't it? You keep on losing, don't you? You keep on losing. Mad Max, John, have you seen any of the Mortal Kombat movies? No. Sandra Jam Hughes, Man of Steel and BVS weren't good movies, in your opinion. Trying to do revisionist history. No, you're trying to make revisionist history. You're trying to make your POV, your point of view, universal facts. And it's not, Sam. Many people love the Snyderverse. They're beautifully presented, better presented than the Johnson Berg franchise and the Hamada franchise put together. Now, they're facts. You're the one being revisionist from your little, minute opinion. You lied. I used to say that New Gods was not going to be made by Ava DuVernay. And I remember the comments. You said she was definitely going to do it. And I think you were biased for a certain reason. I wonder what reason that was, Sam? Well, good movies. Stop trying to be revisionist history with it and say they were good. All these Snyder fans do it. Because we're fans. Because we're fans of the Snyderverse. So we're going to say it's good. They're good to us. What you say isn't the word of God. What I say isn't the word of God, son. We all have opinions, right? Some of us love it and some of us don't. Strong Fix. Is Man of Steel the highest grossing Superman movie to date? First DCU movie compared to Iron Man 1, 4-1. Baz, no, we're not reading that. Sandra Review. So why did the critics hate BVS and why did it drop the second weekend if it was so good? Because people like it. Some people like it. It's good and it's good for others. Just because critics don't like it, just because it had a huge drop-off, doesn't make it a bad movie universally. We're allowed to like it individually because, Sam, everything isn't a dick measuring contest. Individual people, art is subjective, can enjoy a movie. You don't get to say it's crap because of a site that's named after a fucking vegetable or a fucking fruit. However you deem, whatever group you deem a tomato in, says something's bad, doesn't make it bad. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. I fucking love the Snyderverse, and I'm always going to say I love the Snyderverse. Mad Max, MOS looks better than The Flash. It's 10 years old. People are still talking about MOS 10 years later. Shit films don't get that response. Exactly, Mad Max. Reno Jack, everybody thinks they are Cisco and Albert these days, I know. Mad Max, Sam critics are not the measuring stick. No, they are to Sam, I'm afraid. Mad Max, Reno, Bat Super. The screenwriter that was on New Gods before Ava was a huge Snyder fan, and he said WB didn't realize that until he was halfway through the writing script. They got rid of him sometime later. Yeah, and Ava DuVernay was slaying Zack Snyder as well for being a sexist, right? She's one of the most extreme left toxic people in Hollywood. And what is she actually good at? Because she ain't bloody good at writing and directing movies. What has she actually done? Oh, A Wrinkle in Time. Well, that was a piece of shit. That did really well, didn't it? Have I, Baz Madison, haven't you been watching Superman and Lois? Yes, I really like it. I think it's a really great version of Superman. I'm not reading out all this stuff because I think some are from trolls, so I'm not going to really, once I realise something, I don't bother. Bat Super, Ava. Ava Untalented. I wonder why she gets so much work and why she gets in big positions. Oh, didn't she do the other superhero show on the CW? The shit one that was cancelled after a few episodes. Oh, yeah, the one Disparu used to make fun of on YouTube. That's it. But I'm glad Ava is off the project. Baz Madison, what do you think of the budget cuts for season 4? I think it's very sad, Baz. I think it's a great show and deserves better. But unfortunately, now the CW is being run on a profit. And because of the reputation of it not being run on a profit before, and, obviously WB and the CW company, who had nothing to do with Warner Brothers anymore, have come to some deal. The budget's going to be small, so they have to reduce the cast. Now, the problem is Superman and Lois, like all these kind of Arrowverse shows, had too many cast members, too many supporting characters. So that was also a problem. I suppose in a way, I don't like people losing work and losing money, artists. I think it's very, very sad. But I think for the quality of the show, I think it will improve the show with fewer supporting cast members. Baz Madison, wasn't it Naomi that was cancelled? Yep. Sam the Jam Hughes, Zack Snyder can't write. Have you seen Sucker Punch and Army of the Dead? Yet you want him to run DC. Well, he's not as strong a writer, you're right, as a director. I admit that. You see how I admit things, Sam? Unlike you, Ava DuVernay is going to do New Gods. But yeah, I admit that. And I think in the best case scenario would be if Zack could just direct DC movies for someone, for a good writer, and Zack directs them, we would have like the best DC movies because Zack's presentation is absolutely beautiful. But I love his DC movies. End of story. Mad Max, Ava DuVernay is a hack. Oh yeah, an extreme left hack. Baz Madison, I'm glad Gotham Knights got cancelled. Look, again, I didn't hope for it to be cancelled because those people, they're not evil or anything. They had jobs. They wanted to feed themselves. It's sad that they lose their jobs, but it wasn't a good show for me personally, and it was horrible. It was a horrible show. And when you've got a flicking TV critic as one of the creatives and writers on the bloody show, it's ridiculous. And the people who bloody wrote Batwoman, talk about failing upwards. Joke's on you, Batman. DMZ was trash and Naomi. What's DMZ? Mad Max. Sam Dejan, do you have a dartboard with Snyder's face on the bullseye? No, I think he has a dartboard with my face on the bullseye, considering he's been shit-talking me on YouTube. Baz Madison. Shame the Lana Lang access was cut, Mick. Mad Max, hit the likes. Thank you. So if you're a genuine person and I'm ignoring you because I think you're a troll because there's someone like accessing lots of accounts, I apologize. But unfortunately, this is a person, I'm afraid, I think wants sexual intercourse with me and is obsessed with me and keeps on stalking me, I'm afraid. I know I'm a very sexy, hot man, muscles, bald head, but you can't have me. It would never work, son. Jokes on you, Batman. DMZ was the other Ava DC project on Max. Oh, right. Well, I never even knew that. Baz Madison, actress. This is Movies TV Mad. We're an hour into the Friday show. Yeah, mate. Yeah, we're here. We're here to talk about DC, any of your favourite TV shows, anything in entertainment. Bat super. Sarah Connor and Ripley will always be better than modern feminist characters. Absolutely, because there's characterizations. You know, we're talking about titans of industry making stuff rather than a bunch of extremists who don't care about compelling you and entertaining you. Max, do you watch Doom Patrol? I watched the first season. I really, really like that show. Mad Max, is that reverse Mad Max? No, that's the guy who wants to have sexual intercourse with me and keeps on taking the names of my other subscribers and doing anything to get a reaction from me. I'm afraid the young man wants intercourse with me. I'm afraid I'm not into other men. The other day, he asked me if I'd have sex with a trans woman, right? I don't know. You know, maybe that's what he is. I don't know. But I'm sorry, I know you're in love with me and obsessed with me, but it ain't going to work. I love sex with women, biological women. I'm not interested in blokes in that way. I'm very, very sorry, son. You keep on losing, don't you? It's been a long time, hasn't it, that you've been losing against me. It must be very, very difficult to be up against a superior male. I say you go back to TikTok. Joke's on you, Batman. Doom Patrol and Titans started well, and both got stupid later on. Stargirl and Swamp Thing were good. Yes, Swamp Thing was good, and so was Stargirl. I think that Doom Patrol got a bit of what didn't it go a bit Me Too? Mad Matt, I know. Well, actually, Jude, I know you're always thinking about me when you're in bed at night. Mad Max, hi Mick. Oh no, that's you again. When you talk to me, do you play with yourself at the same time? Mad Max, Swamp Thing was amazing. Yeah, and they cancelled it. That was more WB kind of creative bankruptcy. 1 minute we had a really good Swamp Thing show, then they bloody cancelled it, and they never tell us. The bloody actors leaked it. Do you remember? That was incompetent. You're wasting your time. You are wasting your time. I'm enjoying tonight. It's great. Let's do it for our country. Joke's on you, Batman. I saw the Flash. Zack Snyder's Justice League is canon. That's correct. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They tried. Look, I think that Andy Muschietti's a good guy. But the film, he wasn't really in charge of the film. He got the script. He had to make it. And he tried his best, right? He tried to tread in Man of Steel respectfully. But at the end of the day, you can't do it like Zack did. It's like when Faora, they try and do that quick fighting moves that Faora does in Man of Steel. He couldn't do it because that's Zack's style. Strong Arm Fix, looks like you've got a gun cultist in your chat, Mick. He's trying to troll you hard, isn't he? He's just someone who wants sexual intercourse with me, Strong Arm Fix, I'm afraid. He's come back because I've started doing lives again. Joke's on you, Batman. That post-credit was a waste. Yeah. Oh, my God. That was... No, shall I tell you something funny? I went late last night to watch the theatrical cut because I saw a test screening over a year ago. And they didn't actually even have the post-credit scene on the version I saw. Now, I've seen the post-credit scene somewhere else. I won't mention where. So I know it's shit, but it was funny that they didn't even have the post-credit scene in the screening that I went to last night. Waz007. Hi, Mick. Good evening, Waz. But basically, that Aquaman scene was always there. Waz007, how are you? I'm very well, Waz. How are you? Smash the like button if you haven't already. We have 14 of you here. Reno Jack, imagine supporting a weirdo groomer. Would never be me. Waz007, I'm good, thanks. Mad Max Waz007. John, Deathstroke and Red Hood was wasted in Titans. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to slag off Titans too deeply because I do think they try and be a good comic book show. And I think the actors were great and they tried their best. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But I think overall it was a good show. Waz007, I just hit like. Thank you very much. Joke's on you. They should have put the Ben Affleck Batman scene instead of the post-credit we got. Yeah, originally they swap it around. So in BVS, you've got the Flash, coming back from the future saying, am I too soon and all that. Well, they were going to reverse that with Batfleck, weren't they? And they cut that. Gunn cut that as well. I hope we get a director's cut or something and we see some of the stuff because I think this is why the film seems really like it's a lot of it does seem out of context, doesn't it? Seems like another Justice League to me. Oh my God. Waz007 Nightwing web series fan film was better than Titans. Never saw it. There's a bloody moth attacking me. They're awful. They really are. Wow. That actually went in my eye. But I'm professional, so I'll carry on. Jesus Christ. That Jude geezer's even turned into a moth now. I know it's difficult, me being such a good-looking guy. I know that guys are going to want me as well. I know it's difficult and become obsessed with me. I do have to cope, being a superstar like I am. Oh, did you? All right, I'll check it out later, Waz. Thank you. Mad Max, I don't like these fake and Mad Max accounts. Just ignore him. That's what he wants. He wants to be annoying. That's the point. Right, where were we? John, can't beat the Deathstroke from Arrow. Yes, he was sensational, wasn't he? He was the better Deathstroke. He's definitely better than the one in Snyderverse. Not that they gave him a chance, but yeah, he was awesome. The first 2 seasons of Arrow are some of the best DC I've ever seen. I never thought anything on TV with DC or comic book would beat Smallville for me, but the first 2 seasons of Arrow was sensational. Whatever went wrong with that show? They became too Tumblr. Reno Jack, did you ever check out Evil Dead Rise? I never did, no. Waz 007, Arrow Deathstroke was great. He was epic. Well played as well. Basically, Arrow lost its way from the third season. The Flash lost its way third or fourth season because they became more Tumblr. They were trying to please the Tumblr crowds with the shippers, the Ulicity, the whole, you know what they're like, and it ruined it. But the early years were amazing. The early years were fantastic. I loved Arrow in the early days. I actually liked Arrowverse in the early days. So I liked the early days of Arrow and the Flash. I liked the first season of Legends of Tomorrow. It wasn't perfect. Waz 007. Oh no, we already read that. We have 12 viewers. We have 7 likes. It's Friday night. Don't forget to let me know what you think of the Flash movie. Looks like it's going to have an underwhelming box office, but we will see. Mad Max, Mick, how much did media manipulation inspire all the Snyder haters? Corporate espionage runs deep. Yeah, for some reason, they were against Snyder, really, from the beginning. I mean, they were even trying to interfere with Man of Steel, and Nolan literally had to stand by the door, protecting him. So, yeah, for some reason, they didn't want Snyder to succeed. And it's very, very odd, and I don't understand why. Waz 007 for season 3 Arrow wants to use Suicide Squad, but WB said no. Reno Jack, Ezra is box office poison. Well, of course he is, yeah. Of course they are, because of their conduct. People are good people. They're not going to put up with it. John, all the CW shows went downhill apart from Superman and Lois. That's true, because Superman and Lois had the good sense to distance themselves. And a lot of Arrowverse fans are not happy with that. But like you had 8 seasons of Arrow, 9 seasons of The Flash, 4 seasons of Legends, 4 seasons of Supergirl, right? You had a lot of shows, but they still want more. They're trying to get James Gunn to bring Legends of Tomorrow back. They're insane. How many more seasons do you want of that shit? Mad Max, I went into BVS dreading the movie because the media went into a frenzy. I left the cinema having witnessed an epic masterpiece. It's a brilliant film. I liked it. I even liked the original shorter version when I first saw it. It didn't confuse me. I understood the nightmare sequence would be explained in the next movie. I got it. He was building something. So I loved the film. And I thought, when I came out, I actually thought the review would be great, because I saw an early screening. I thought everyone was going to love this movie like they liked The Dark Knight. I was shocked the hatred that movie got. Waz 007, Arrow Season 3, Ted called Blue Beetle support. Have WB no said? Mad Max, yes, I agree. I thought the ultimate cut was just more gravy on the meal. Well, listen, it does explain. They should never have cut half an hour of the movie. But again, they were thwarting the man's vision at every angle. There obviously was elements from the beginning, because Jeff Johns was there even at, when Man of Steel was going on, trying to interfere, and he wasn't allowed, and he complained. When they were promoting Justice League, he said, I told them it wouldn't work. So they were stabbing Zack in the back as they were marketing Justice League. Sam Dejan reviews. You're saying the new gods to me as a gotcha moment, yet you said Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot won't be in Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods. Hang on. I said that Henry Cavill Well, I never said Henry Cavill wasn't going to be in Black Adam. I said it was a long shot. There were rumours, wasn't there, at the time? We didn't know for sure. And it was a beautiful surprise. Was Gal Gadot in Black Adam? I don't remember Gal Gadot being in Black Adam. I don't know what you're talking about. You lose again, Sam. Sorry, mate. Oh, she was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Again, I wasn't sure if she. Actually, I was telling you for ages Wonder Woman was in Shazam! Fury of the Gods because I knew because it was leaked for ages. Wrong again, Zod. You lose. Sam Hughes, you said it would be a faceless cameo. No, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying to get one up on me, and it's not going to work. Now, toodle off and make one of your shitty YouTube videos about me, because you're another one who's obsessed as well. So toodle off. Stop lying to win. You can't win against me. No one can win because I have logic on my side. As someone said to me the other day, I am based. I am based, baby. Deal with it. Why'd you come on this channel? Piss off. Everything I say, you say the opposite. Piss off. Not interested. Go away. Bother somebody else. It's boring. Was double, no, read that. Was 007. Arrow season 1, 2, 5, 8 was great. John and Gal was not really in Shazam 2. No, she was superimposed, wasn't she? But actually, I was saying for ages that Gal was going to be in Fury of the Gods because the whole film was leaked, like the Flash movie was leaked. So we all knew what was going on. Sam, when you don't like someone, when you don't like watching someone, when you call someone's videos a load of shit, you don't come and consume their stuff. Reno Jack, Base Mick has entered the chat. If I'm so rubbish, go and consume someone else who's not rubbish. It's quite simple. I'm not interested in your negativity. You're boring. You purposely go on an opposite tangent on purpose because you don't have the intellect to agree with someone when you know they're bloody right. So you just go, no, that's not going to happen. And every time you disagree with me, you end up being wrong. That's the thing, because I have information and you do not. You just go opposite for the fuck of it. It's like putting two magnets together. They resist each other. That's what you do. Literally, you're just a troll. You're just a troll and you know you are. That's not even your picture. That's not even you. That's probably not even you. I know what you people are like. You've not even got the guts to show who you are. Well, I am showing who I am. I've got an opinion and I'm going to stick to it. Sandra Hughes, what logic do you have? You get called out by how many people on Twitter? Even Rachel Zegler called out you got destroyed with that tweet. No, I didn't get destroyed by Zegler at all. I gave as good as I got. So obviously you only got half of it. So I didn't get destroyed by Rachel Zegler because I answered her back, didn't I? I got the last word on her and she couldn't respond to me. So she didn't destroy me. You'd like to think that she destroyed me, but she didn't. You're another one obsessed with me. Why are you following me on Twitter, you loser? Why are you following me on here? What's the point? Because it all started because I said a black director was going to lose her job, a job she never had. She was just trying to pitch New Gods. That's how it started. And that's why you didn't like me, Sam. Isn't that true? I find Sam Dejan guilty of everything. Take him down. He loses against Mick again. Bye-bye. See you later. Goodbye. Too sad. See you later. I'm superior. I've got bigger dick energy than you. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye, darling. Sunshine Reviews. Yes, you did. I saw the tweets. People were saying, yeah, and I'm saying I got the last word. And if you follow me, you would have saw that I got the last word. So I won, loser. Mad Max Samson, why are you harassing Mick Lowe? I don't understand. Because he's a troll from day one. That's not even his picture. He's a fake. All because I called a director who happened to be black, not because she was black, right? And he's probably black as well, right? He didn't like it. So he turned against me from day one. I'm guessing this little person floats on everyone's YouTubes, everyone's Twitter, and he's just a ghost, right? John, what were some of your favorite video games from the past? Delta on the Commodore 64? Paperboy on the Commodore 64? Sandra Hughes, I knew you well before that because I saw a video, your video on you seeing Aquaman. Yes, I'm sure you follow a lot of people and you float. The point is, you've never agreed with anything I've ever said. So I don't get it. But when you don't like someone, you don't consume them. When you don't like someone, you don't have a wank and an orgasm because you feel a celebrity owned them, right? It's not what normal people do. I don't follow people I dislike or trigger me or wind me up because that's a waste of energy, isn't it? You really are wasting my time. Waz 007, my uncle used to have Commodore 64. They were great. We used to put the tape in. It used to load up. It used to take forever to load up. It was amazing. We had Delta. We had Paperboy. We had Football Manager. We had loads. It was great. John, I really liked the 24 video game. That was cool. I remember when Kiefer was promoting it on one of my box sets. Some people are just obsessed with studios and defending studios toxic behavior. That's what it is. Reno Jack, Low, this guy does DVD unboxing video, literally lowest common denominator content to try and get views. Oh, I can't, honestly, that bores the hell out of me. Waz 007, my favorite on games Mega Drive was my second in my Street of Rage 1 and 2 and 3. And that's the problem, Sam. You are defending a multi-trillion-dollar company, and it offends you because I'm complaining about a multi-trillion-dollar company. And that's the problem. And I'm never going to swing it. I'm never going to stop speaking my truth. And you're just going to keep on banging your head against the brick wall. Better people than you, more intelligent, more powerful people than you have tried it with me and failed, Sam. And you keep on failing. What they did to Snyder was wrong. I love Snyder, right? I think he's amazing. I love his movies. And I will carry on. Mad Max, Sam Dejan, concentrate on your own channel. Well, he might get depressed if he does that. Waz 007, my favorite PS2 game, Life Warriors and Bully game. Mad Max. Sam Slav. Sam Dejan, my channel is fine. You say my videos are boring, yet you don't edit your videos. I don't want to edit my videos. I know I don't edit my videos. What a stupid criticism. If I wanted to edit my videos, I would. I do what I do. Good luck. Good luck editing your dull channel and your dull videos. You know, so at the end of the day, I haven't seen your channel. You don't interest me, Sam, right? There's nothing about you that interests me. I would never watch one of your pieces of your content. You're watching mine. I don't care about unboxing. I'm sure it's fun for you and fun for the people who watch you doing it. I ain't interested. And it wasn't me who said your channel was bad. It was somebody else defending me. Mad Max, Mick keeps it raw. Here we go again. He's basically denying what we've all seen him say. Sam Hughes, I'm not defending anything. They just movies. I have a life. I'm not these Snyder fans who don't have a life and attack people. You're attacking Snyder fans, you hypocrite, who don't have a life and attack people of not getting what they want. You've just attacked the Snyder fans. So you're just as bad as them then, ain't you? Mad Max, yes, Mike. Sam Dejan is a gun guzzler. Waz Dablo said, I remember that play Big Trouble in Little China game on Commodore 64. Mad Max, it's easy to disrespect the fan base. But the thing is, he's talking about Snyder fans attacking people. He's attacking Snyder fans. The hypocrisy. I don't get it. I don't get it. Full of trolls tonight. Trolls. Total waste of time. This channel is about people who are passionate about DC, films, TV, and streaming. That's what we're here to discuss. We're not here to discuss your egos. You don't have to like Snyder. No one is requiring you to like Snyder and his content. But this is my channel, and I will do and talk about whatever I want. And that's the end of it. And it ain't ever going to change. I ain't going anywhere. That's the point. John, this is one of the best YouTube channels, Mick. Never asks for money and reads all his comments. Exactly, John. Exactly. And I don't have to, do I? I could be drinking scotch, champagne, sleeping with prostitutes, snorting heroin. But I talk to you guys. Rather do that. Do you know what I need on my channel? A woman in a bikini sitting next to me. I think that will get me a lot more views. Reno Jack, straight up facts. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Waz007, I enjoy your live stream. Thank you, Waz. Well, I think the genuine people on this channel, we've got a mutual respect for each other. But I'm afraid there's a couple of, people who, you get these trolls, you get these bots, I'm afraid. It's part of life on the internet. I'm fine with it. I don't actually get as much hate as other people get, so it's cool. I don't make hate videos about people, right? Just because they don't agree with me. I move on. I block them, I mute them, or they mute me, and we just move on. Mad Max, the Mick versus fire. Thank you. I mean, you should see the women after I finish with them, man. I'm definitely fire. I mean, they are scolded. Sam the Genre used, the Snyder fans are worse, but you're accusing them of attacking, but you're doing that to them. So you're still a hypocrite. Saying they're worse, which is childish, by the way, still doesn't change that you're attacking them. They complain every day about the most stupid stuff. No, they don't. They complain about a studio who used the death of a man's daughter to remove him. Defend that. Defend that. Waz007, rumour that Big Trouble in Little China remake with Rock. That fucking geezer. Why don't he just fuck off? Not you, Waz, The Rock. Reno Jack, watching UG check trolls is one of the best parts of your lives. Mad Max, what are the Cypriot ladies like? The married ones. They're very, very hungry because the husbands don't take care of business, so somebody has to. I think I'm being charitable. Sanjay Hughes, I love Zach's movies. I want to see it restored, but if WB don't want to continue it, fine. That's fine. That's cool. If that's your opinion, that's cool. But you can't police what everyone else thinks and says. That's the problem, Sam. What you just said is brilliant, right? It's no problem for me. But you can't police what everyone else does and says. That's the point. Waz 007, our new Fall Guy film. No thanks. I love the Fall Guy with Lee Majors and Heather Thomas. Jodie, oh my God. Her in that blue bikini as she pushed over. So hot. Anyway, where was I? Mad Max. Sam Dejan is what's known as Scab. He'd crossed the picket line ASAP. Reno Jack Lowell. Sam, why are you crying about Snyder fans but not Peep about the things crush on Mick? John, did you hear that they are doing a live-action Bambi movie? I did, and I couldn't stop laughing. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have saw me laughing at them. Waz 007, Fall Guys was a great show. Fall Guy was a great show. I'm not the type to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. Hey, hey, or something like that. Great show. There was Colt Seavers, the epic Lee Majors, still alive, I think. Heather Thomas as the... Yeah, we won't go into that. And Howie, he was cool. And then we had the bail person who used to tell Colt who to go after. That was a great show. Mad Max, what about Gun Sam Dejan? Since you like reading tweets, did you read his? Uppercut! That was the uppercut, wasn't it? Sarah Madison, what do you think of Jared Leto, Mad Max? What? Oh, you're asking Mad Max. Waz 007 Fall Guy theme song was great. It was. I loved it. Well, back in the 80s, we had great themes, didn't we? John, remember the Chip Show? Oh, yeah. Da, 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 John and Ponch. Funny thing is, it was called Chips, and we used to watch it every Saturday night when we had takeaway chips from the Chippy newspaper. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days of glory, Sid, I tell you. Not like today. Not like you young people today. Reno Jack, not a peek from Sam about Ezra grooming and assaulting people. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah. But it's okay for a studio to use the suicide of a man's daughter to fire him, yeah? And lie that Joss Whedon was his fucking bosom buddy. That's fine, isn't it? But we're bad because we're complaining about what they did to Zach. The man made 3 flipping masterpieces, right? Even if you don't like his films, you must admit his presentation is beautiful. Look at The Flash. Look at The Flash, mate. It's like a 5-year-old directed that. Let's be honest about it. Sorry, Andy. It has to be said. I had a good experience with your film. It was all right. It was entertaining. But it don't get in my top 5 of DC, the DCEU. And the presentation was terrible. Terrible. My dead grandmother could have done better. Waz 007, I had fish and chips today for dinner. Sam Dejan reviews, I knew about the Ezra situation. I said he should get help. But you people said he should go to jail. Like, that will solve anything. Sam, he's accused of grooming multiple times. He throttled a young woman in Iceland. Oh, sorry, they. Of course the person should be in jail. I don't have any deep health. Message deleted by Movies, TV, mad. Those are accusations. They all got dropped. I have looked into. Yeah, well, what about throttling a woman in Iceland? That was on video. We saw him on video throttling a woman. I suppose you think he should just get a spanked bottom, or they should get a spanked bottom, be told off, sent to their room for 5 minutes, and then get psychological help, right? They throttled a woman, Sam. John, do you remember how the team series, how the A-Team series ended? Right, I didn't watch it right at the end, but I know in the final season, basically Robert Vaughan took them over, didn't they? And it became a bit more of a gritty, serious show. So they went to trial, but then Robert Vaughan kind of owned them and gave them orders. So I think that's kind of lost ratings and it wasn't the same anymore. Why is 007? Ezra Miller kick out of Hollywood. Mad Max. Mick in the Flash. Barry suggests drugging his younger self. I thought that was weird. Yeah. I don't know if they thought. They obviously didn't think. This is how stupid they are, right? That's right. I forgot about that, and I only watched it last night. He actually was going to drug his younger self. I mean, even the gluing of the tooth was very, very abnormal. I mean, I think Christina Hodson must have been sniffing some mushrooms, mate. Was 007, the A-Team was a great show. It was. Reno Jack, Ezra is a nonce, bottom line. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on, things that can't be proven because I'm a YouTuber. You can say I can't. But it's not good, is it? None of it's good. And the only reason they started behaving because they wanted the movie to be released. And once this movie's done with, Warner Brothers will dump them and they'll go back to doing whatever they were doing. This is what this industry is like. What about Kevin Spacey bragging if he's found not guilty, he's going to go back to making movies again? John, Knight Rider was also a great show. Do you know what? I was fucking obsessed. I used to have this old TV computer game and it broke. So I put it on my grifter bike because I had a bike, a two-wheeler, and I pretended it was Kit. I was obsessed. I used to talk to my watch and everything. Kit, I need you, pal. I was freaking obsessed. Was 007. I wish got season 6 of the A-Team. Reno Jack should have released Batgirl and cancelled Flash. Would have made the same money, lol. Yeah, it's true. I mean, to be fair, no matter what, however bad Batgirl was, none of those people had throttled anyone or been accused of grooming anyone or, threatened to kill people on the camera phone, right? So those people didn't deserve to have their project canned, right? And even worse, those directors weren't told by Zaslav personally. They found it out by the internet. It's freaking disgusting, right? And I didn't lose much sleep over the shelving of Batgirl. I thought it was quite funny at first. But now looking back at it, how they treated those people was disgusting. Sam Dejan reviews. Yet you say nothing about Kevin Spacey, Bryan Singer, and Roman Polanski, but Ezra is worse. First of all, I've just been speaking about Kevin Spacey. Hello, Sam! I've just mentioned that, how bad it is that if he's found not guilty, he'll be going back to work. I've mentioned Bryan Singer before. And as for Roman Polanski, he ain't even in my... that guy's so bloody old. But just because other people do bad things, it doesn't excuse Ezra Miller. You lose again. You're excusing Ezra Miller. You are excusing them. You want them to get a spanked backside, sent to their room, get a few little mental health lessons, and get away with it. They throttled a young woman. Do you understand? Can you hear me? He throttled a young woman. They, even though they're a criminal, we must make sure to call them they. What a crazy, insane world we live in. Reno Jack, Brendan Fraser's momentum alone would have made box office for Batgirl. I think so, yeah. John, my favourite episode of Knight Rider was the one with Kit versus the truck. Yeah, that was Goliath, yeah. The one who looked like Hasselhoff, who was Hasselhoff. Reno Jack, Sam is coping hard. Waz 007, Bryan Singer all the way, look creep. Mad Max, Imo, I think Ezra has been a victim of child abuse. Oh, for sure. That doesn't condone his actions, but it could be the reason he's unhinged. Yeah, listen, look, 1 minute they were fine and then they were unhinged. I don't know what happened, but we can't excuse it. Sanders and reviews. 3 years ago, you made a video saying the Ezra video is fake. Now you're saying it's real. Right. 3 years ago, I didn't understand the situation. I thought he was just signing an autograph and they were just joking. I literally really thought it was a joke because I couldn't believe someone would do something like that, especially a famous actor. But Sam, I was wrong. Did you hear that? I was wrong. You see, I admit when I'm wrong. Unlike you, I didn't have all the information, and later on, I realized I was wrong and I changed my mind. I had new information, updated information, which educated me. You should try and do the same. Lose again, lose again. Sam Jam Hughes, that video is fake. You know why? Because the girl said nothing afterwards. It was only 7 seconds long. No, again, you're wrong. She was interviewed by a very, very reputable magazine. I think it was, what was it, something fair, Vanity Fair. And she was quoted and she admitted she was attacked. So there, Mad Max. I can't believe you're actually defending Ezra Miller. It is outrageous. And you give all this morality about me. You're outrageous. You've got the gall of the devil, my friend. Mad Max, Singer is disgusting. His bestie Spacey is the same. They're all as bad as each other. And they've got the cheek to lecture us, the customer, on our morality. Reno Jack, ha ha ha, he accuses Mick of saying the video was fake, then says the video is fake himself. I know, you couldn't flip and make it up, could you? And I admitted I was wrong. Why is 007 Black Adam flop? Rock went back fast films. Sam Jam Hughes, she said something a year ago. Why didn't she say it when it happened? And I'm not defending Ezra. Yes, you are. That's exactly. Listen to what you've just said. You are trying to justify that they are innocent. She was probably scared. That's why she never said something before. We saw it on a video. We saw it on a video. He throttled a young woman. Sorry, they throttled a young woman, right? It happened. It happened. Admit it. Admit you're wrong. I've admitted I'm wrong. I was defending them as well at first until I got better information and I had to take it back and say, sorry, everyone. Like this morning when someone said to me, oh, Mick, Universal don't own the rights to Hulk anymore. And I went mad. Of course they do, because I don't want Marvel to have the rights to Hulk. And I came out today on my live and apologized to that person and admitted I was wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, Sam. Nothing wrong. And you're wrong quite a lot. Quite a lot. That's why you don't like me. That's why you shit talk me on YouTube. Because I'm intelligent. I've got an IQ. Sam Jam Hughes, I'm not defending Ezra. I don't care. I'm just happy we got the movie because I'm a Flash fan. So the Flash movie is more important than. So basically, you wanted them to get away with it because you wanted to see the Flash movie. Basically, an all right, subpar, below par movie. Let's be honest. That has the presentation of a 5-year-old trying to paint while, basically while they're drunk. Waz 007, Sam, Ezra Miller need cancel. Yeah, they need something. And all that bullshit that he wasn't going to talk at the premiere, and he did. He did damn well talk. They did. Sorry again. Reno Jack, Ezra is not a good Flash. Absolutely casting. Yeah, now, Snyder's casting was pretty good, but I don't know where he plucked him from, honestly. Let's be honest. Is Gal Gadot any good in any other role apart from Wonder Woman? I think she's been useless in everything else she's done. Sunshine Reviews, I like the movie. You're trying to compare it to Man of Steel. It's the most desperate thing ever. The Flash movie treads in Man of Steel. So, of course, there has to be some comparison to Man of Steel. Jesus Christ, man. I tell you what, you are something else. You are something else. You're wrong again. You're wrong again. I did you again. Did you like a kipper again? Stop going against a heavyweight. You will never win. I'm a heavyweight. I don't give a shit. Sandra Hughes. Henry isn't the best thing in the Man of Steel. Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe were. They were all good. They were all great. Russell Crowe was amazing. Costner was amazing. And Henry was very good as well. So I don't think, I'm not trying to put, but basically Henry was the lead of the movie. But Costner is a legend and so is Russell Crowe. But Cavill is a very good Superman. He's a very good contemporary Superman. I'm not the host with the most for nothing. Waz 007, Henry Cavill was great in Man of Steel. He was outstanding, as I say, a brilliant contemporary Superman. There's no question about that. John, apart from Wonder Woman and Fast and the Furious, I have not seen Gal in any other movies. She's done a few Netflix crap. She's in some kind of spy thriller next, but I don't particularly think she's a convincing actor. I think she's a really good Wonder Woman. I think when Snyder directs her, and when she did the first Wonder Woman and BVS, she was amazing. Mad Max, MOS, The Flash, no contest, no way. The Flash would not get in my top 5 DCEU movies, no question. Waz 007, Henry Cavill better than Ezra? Well, even I'm better than Ezra. I mean, look, they're a good actor. They're a good actor, but, you know, we can't excuse the behaviour. It's not been good enough. And Gunn has dealt with him. He's thrown him in a dead end. It's over for him. We'll never see them in the Flash again. Him, them, they, whatever. I can't keep up with it. It's ridiculous. I've tried being respectful, but it's ridiculous. What does they even mean? Why are you a they? I don't even, honestly, I don't get the logic of it. Why are they? Why are they a they? It doesn't make sense. Someone explain it to me. Why they? Why they? I don't get it. I mean, they haven't had a sex change. Ezra's not trans. So why are they a they? I don't get it. Mad Max. Cavill is an excellent Superman. The only one to capture hearts since Reed. Absolutely. Reno Jack, the Batman, everything other CBM the last 10 years, my opinion. John, are you going to see the new Ghostbusters movie? Probably eventually. I wouldn't go to the cinema to see it because I think that's a waste of money. Because I wouldn't get anything out of watching like a modern Ghostbusters movie in the cinema. So probably I'll see on digital or something. Personally, I think that's not spending my money well on a Ghostbusters movie because I don't even know what else is there to say about Ghostbusters. Ooh, there's a ghost. There's Slimer. Let's catch him. Oh, I'm all slimy. What else is there to say in the Ghostbusters universe? Nothing. It doesn't really excite me. I stopped getting excited about Stranger Things after the first season. And honestly, the way they waste time on that show, the amount of waste of time characters, and they ruined Eleven as well. They ruined her. Not literally, but they ruined her. And I don't like the fact that she grew her hair either. Reno Jack, at least if AI wrote the script, we might get some original ideas instead of constant remakes and rip-offs. You know what? I'd like to say, they keep on saying that AI can't write anything. But I bet you they can. John, the best Ghostbusters movie are 1 and 2. Yeah, look, they're great. They're classic. But they were made by titans of industry, right? And now movies are being made by extremists. And they're all on strike now, wanting more money as well. I mean, they're not treated very well. They do deserve more money and better conditions. I'm not saying they don't. But the quality of their work, fundamentally isn't great anymore. Mad Max. In the opening scenes of The Flash, Batfleck dialogue was out of sync with his lips. Did you notice that? Yeah. Look, it wasn't. We have to be honest. The presentation wasn't great. It wasn't great. It was not great. It didn't look, honestly. I don't look. I actually, my first instinct, especially with DC, right? Because I don't have any agendas, unlike people like Sam think. So I try and defend anything DC. But when you look at a movie like The Flash, which ultimately has some good stuff about it, right? I want to love it, and I want to say that Andy Muschietti is the best director ever. But the presentation is horrible, and it's indefensible. Sandra Hughes, Ezra Miller had a better performance than Henry. Oh my God. Oh my God. This man's on drugs, mate. Please stay off the drugs, son. Like, you can't just eat any mushrooms, Sam. Some mushrooms make you feel a bit giddy and high. And then you start saying some odd things. Ezra Miller had a better performance than Henry Cavill, and he played two people. Henry doesn't change throughout the movie. He's not supposed to. That's how Clark Kent and Superman is. That's their personality. It's very one note. That's the point. John, what did you think of Ben Affleck's new Batsuit in The Flash? I prefer the BVS. He looks at his best. I don't even like the upgraded one in the Snyder Cut. I think they kind of changed it. I think the best suit is in BVS. But yeah, I didn't like that. And I thought Affleck, because he did The Flash when he was just getting over his alcoholism, he looked very slim. I don't even like the scene when he's talking to Barry. There was something wrong with it. It didn't make sense. There was something wrong with the presentation of the movie, but a lot of people are blind to it. There's some good stuff, no question, within the movie. I understand what they're trying to do. They hacked the graphic novel to pieces. And while you're watching it, it's okay and you get sucked in. But there's something out of yank about it, and I can't even explain it. Mad Max, Sam Dejan is sniffing something. Reno Jack, Andy Muschietti directing Brave and Bold. No, thank you. Waz 007, Sam, no way Henry Cavill is better than Ezra. Mad Max, Sam Dejan need a Superman graphic novel. Mad Max, I agree. Batfleck looked exhausted and thin. It didn't work. Sam Dejan Hughes, Henry has been Superman for 5 movies and he did nothing. Tyler Heckling has played Superman in 3 seasons. He's a better Clark than Superman. You'll just say anything. You'll just say anything. Basically, he's basically led 2 movies. Man of Steel and BVS. He was the co-lead in BVS, right? He didn't lead 5 movies. He was barely in the Snyder Cut, wasn't he now? So I don't know what part of your backside you're yanking that from. John, I did like Michael Keaton's new bat suit. Yeah, it's all right. Look, the problem is, when he's in the suit, we know it's not him, right? And what's really bad, he looks even older when you see the chin and stuff. It actually doesn't work. Alex, Tyler is definitely better. No disrespect to Henry. Alex, it's all about opinions. I don't think anyone's better or worse. I think everyone works for their era and for their version of Superman. I know this is the generation, the worst from the best from the worst, and this is better than that, and then we argue all night. No. I can say that Christopher Reeve was a great Superman. I think the 2 actors who played Superboy in that live-action series were great. I can say that Dean Cain wasn't my cup of tea, but many, many people loved him as Superman. Tom Welling was a great Clark Kent. Brandon Routh was a great version of Christopher Reeve's Superman. Henry Cavill's great. Tyler is absolutely fantastic. And that's the way I look at it. And I look at it the same as Batman and Bond. Yeah, we all have our kind of, the ones that we prefer. But we don't have to do down other versions, do we now? Mad Max, Superman and Lois clearly took its direction from the Snyderverse. Reno Jack, bringing back Keaton was an all-time low for nostalgia grabbing. Yet Jeffrey Dean Morgan should have been in the movie. John, I never saw George Reeves' Superman series. Oh, I've got the box set. Actually, considering we're talking about the 50s, it's pretty cool. And George Reeves was actually a really good actor. He was in Gone with the Wind, by the way. John, West Douglas said, I like Dean Cain as Superman. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that his mentor fought in the war, George Reeves would never have played Superman. He would have been a big-time actor. Reno Jack, Waz 007, Mick, what favourite Bond films? Right, so the first Bond film I ever saw was Live and Let Die by Roger Moore. Roger Moore's my favourite Bond, my first Bond. The man was brilliant in everything he did in the real world and as an actor. But yeah, Live and Let Die. I love Moonraker. I love A View to a Kill, Spy Who Loved Me. I don't really like that much For Your Eyes Only. It just seems a bit mid. But most of his movies were amazing. Alex, didn't Joaquin Phoenix play a young Superboy? I think he might have. I don't know if he auditioned or he played him, but I think that sounds familiar, Alex. Yes. Mad Max, Mick, did you think it was strange that Christopher Reeve's Superman was staring into the multiverse, now knowing Donna's Superman, he would have rushed to help Barry? Yeah, I'm assuming the point is that they can't leave where they are. They're stuck on their worlds, I think. And for some reason, because of what the Barrys are doing, they're able to look at what they're doing. I mean, it wasn't explained very well. So I get what you're saying, absolutely. Because if he could help, why wouldn't he help? But obviously he's dead and it's just a bit of CGI, so he couldn't help, really. Mad Max, Donna. Reno Jack, original Goldfinger theme lives in my head at all times. Yeah, classic. Batsuit, if I don't know already, I would never guess that it and The Flash were directed by the same person. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it wasn't all him. Maybe something happened. Maybe it's another Justice League and someone took over. I don't know. There is something dodgy about the whole situation because, an experienced director, which he's not, by the way, I think he's done about 4 movies. He hasn't done many. He's done 2 big movies, It Chapter 2 and now The Flash. But maybe it's his inexperience, but that film was like, the presentation was like it was made by an amateur. It's like I made it. John, did you like GoldenEye? Oh, I loved GoldenEye. I think Pierce Brosnan was removed too quickly. Waz 007. My favourite Bond films are The Spy Who Loved Me and The Living Daylights. I love The Living Daylights. Alex, what you make of James Mangold directing Swamp Thing? I'm not a big fan of Mangold, to be honest. I think what he did with Logan was really good. I don't like his other Wolverine movie, by the way. He did a really good job with that. And I don't like him anymore because he seems to be like a Disney company man. He seems to be working for Disney now. And all of a sudden, he's going to do Swamp Thing. He's a talented director. If he puts his mind to it, he could make a really good film. If he makes it without any help from anyone else, I don't know. So I'm undecided about that, to be honest with you. Reno Jack, Pierce Brosnan in Mrs. Doubtfire, though, absolute classic. Oh, that's brilliant, brilliant. That film, the third act of Mrs. Doubtfire always makes me cry. And it makes me cry, when he goes to court and he does the speech and everything. So Robin Williams, what a genius. And he was Christopher Reeve's best friend. They went to college together, 2 wonderful guys. There were some really good people in the industry in old Hollywood. Mrs. Doubtfire is a genius movie. John, thoughts on the movie Hook? On the movie Hook? Oh, well, the Steven Spielberg one is great. Unlike the extremist movies we're getting today, that's a great movie. Of course it is. Robin Williams again. Anything. Robin Williams started off as a Saturday Night Live stand-up comedian. Then he came up with Mork and Mindy. Mork and Mindy was sensational. Then he did all the films. And at first he was funny in films. But then he was doing serious films like Dead Poets Society. He was a fantastic Popeye. The man was a legend. Mad Max, Alex, did you watch the Swamp Thing series? I hope they stick with practical effects for Swamp Thing instead of CGI. As I said the past couple of days, we need to reduce the CGI shots, not just in CBMs or comic book TV or streaming, but we need to do as much as possible physically and just touch things up with CGI. Because the quality of CGI now is gone downhill. I don't know why, but I don't know what's going on with Reno Jack there. Bat Super, I think in part it is that WB interfered a ton, but also I think a CGI-heavy, family-friendly movie isn't his thing. It doesn't play to his strengths as a director, no. So it's a bit weird that they used him, because if they were doing a small character-driven movie, which they partially were with the relationship with the two Barrys, I mean, personally, even though I think Miller was amazing with that and it makes sense, they really shouldn't have gone with the two Barrys thing. Or they should have done Grant or John Wesley Shipp, as I said on the spoiler review this morning. So I don't understand the logic behind that, but there you go. Reno is a line from Hook. It proves I don't know that movie very well, does it? Bat Super, they are going to waste Andy on what, Brave and the Bold? I don't know. Look, you can't trust these people. And Andy's a studio director. He's not an auteur. He won't be able to do what he wants. Alex, he's directing some great films. 3:10 to Yuma. Yeah, I know. Look, personally, I prefer the original to 3:10 to Yuma, and I don't think it's got great actors in it, but if not for me, Yuma remake, Ford versus Ferrari is great. Copland is great. Walk the Line. I personally can't wait to see him write and direct Swamp Thing. Well, here's the thing. Normally, I agree with you. That CV you've just listed me is sensational, Alex. The problem is we live in a new era of extremism, propaganda, and these people like to insert their worldviews into movies. So I agree with you. He's a fantastic director. And if he puts his propaganda to one side, because I've noticed he's going to do a Star Wars movie where he tells us how the Force started, and I'm a bit worried that might be a little bit extreme left politically and shit like that because of Kennedy. That seems an odd move, because if he just makes a Star Wars movie, he'll do a great job. But look at like the latest indie movie with Phoebe Waller-Bridge and how problematic that is. Waz 007, Sam Raimi would great choice for The Flash. Alex, Mad Max, yeah, I love the TV series Swamp Thing. Sad seeing it end, especially after the cliffhanger ending for it. Yeah, more incompetence by WB. I mean, the actual cast leaked that was ending. That was disgusting. Waz 007, Popeye is underrated film. It really is. It really is an underrated film. I agree. Bat Super, they are going to waste Andy on Batman. The only way it can turn out great is if they actually let him do a proper film instead of a studio-mandated live-action cartoon. That's the problem, Bat Super. That's what Gunn's universe is going to be. As you just said, a studio-mandated live-action franchise. That's exactly what it's going to be. He's already admitted that DC Elseworlds will be more artistically made rather than his universe. He's actually admitted that. Alex, think his Star Wars movie is Beginning of the Jedi. Yeah, that's it, the Beginning of the Jedi. John, there was a Popeye movie. There was, starring Robin Williams as Popeye, and it was awesome. Waz 007, I shocked, find out Popeye flop. Yeah, I mean, listen, if a movie's good, I don't care what it does in the box office. If I get something personal from it and it exists, how do I care how it affects the studio? Alex, Robin Williams played Popeye in the live-action movie. That's right. And I like that movie. See, many, many years ago, Channel 4 used to do seasons on actors, right? So I used to get to watch movies I'd never seen before. We had a Jeff Bridges season. We had a Robin Williams season. We had a Robert De Niro season. I'd never seen Deer Hunter before. So that was fun to see that. So that's what Channel 4 used to do, because that's how good Channel 4 used to be. So I watched films I wouldn't have seen. But Robin Williams was a very multi-talented man. There'll never be the likes of Robin Williams again. I mean, Jim Carrey is the closest you'll ever see, but even he is no Robin Williams. John, do you remember the movie Teen Wolf? Yeah, it weren't really for me. I don't even know if I ever watched it. I think I might have watched it, but I can't remember it. Waz 007, I like to see Superman Red Son live action. Well, the animated movie was all right. Alex, wasn't it a film for that season for actors? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Waz 007. I remember Robin Williams' season on Channel 4 Popeye. That's it. Yeah. It was years ago. I don't know if they still do it, but I'm talking about when I lived in the UK, which was prior to 2000. They were doing it. Mad Max, do you remember Videodrome on BBC Two? I do. That was quality as well, wasn't it? They used to do some great things. Reno Jack, Waz, the cowards at WB should make a Nightwing movie. Well, yeah, they should. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. We don't know if what Gunn's going to do is right or wrong. That's the problem with prejudging what he's doing. We don't have a clue. He does talk a good game. I mean, he's even saying that, he wouldn't like writing comic books now because they don't make any money. He's talking about, the oversaturation of CBMs and like mid-CBM movies, which we say all the time. So he's speaking a good game. It's just if he can actually execute good content. We'll have to wait and see. Is he as in charge as he claims he is? Or is Zaslav just going to interfere with the situation all the time? We will have to wait and see. Reno Jack. Oh, no. Alex, have you seen Transformers, Mick? No, Alex, I'm afraid not. I have not seen the recent one, no. I haven't seen the last one before the recent one or the one before that. John, do you remember the show Game Master? No. Reno Jack, which timelines are more convoluted? Comic books or comic book movies, lol? Wow, that's another question, isn't it? Mad Max, Golden Joystick. Waz 007, Nightwing will great for movie. Oh, definitely. It's something the fans, we nearly got it a few years back, but they greenlit and cancelled so much shit. Absolutely ridiculous. So, guys, it's been over 2 hours. I'm absolutely going to die of exhaustion if I don't stop. It's really hot out here in Cyprus. I've really enjoyed tonight's live, even though I've had to deal with some troublemakers. That's part of the course. Don't think that bothers me or anything. It's great. I will be back live tomorrow morning with another edition of the DC Universe Daily. And hopefully we've got some interesting news and we don't have to just keep on boring on about the Flash movie all the time. And hopefully I've got some news for you. Hopefully there's something else going on. I mean, James Gunn does know who's going to compose the score for Superman Legacy. And I have tagged him on Twitter and asked him to reveal it because I don't know why he's holding it back. I do have a feeling that John Williams may come out of retirement to score the music for Superman Legacy. That's just a theory. And Mad Max, Mick, you're a legend. Let me say it again. Mad Max, Mick, you're a legend. So are you. John, great live. Thank you very much. Waz 007, Channel 4 was great for showing Asian films. That's very true, Waz 007. This has been Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, smash the notification bell. This beautiful perfection. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. So who else has sent me a love letter? Waz 007, thanks live stream. Reno Jack, later on, Mick, laters. Bat Super, see you next video. You will. Alex, and TV shows or movies you've been watching you recommend? Oh, well, that's easy. Lost, Alias, I don't know if you've seen them before. I was rewatching 24. I was rewatching Quantum Leap before Christmas time. X-Files is outstanding. I mean, next time I come on, I'll suggest some other ones. I mean, I don't know if they're your type of thing, but I don't know if you're a manly guy or you like stuff with women in it. But Ugly Betty was a great show. Desperate Housewives was sensational drama as well. They're the type of things I was binging from early 2000 because our TV was so good. But Lost is one of the most compelling things I've ever seen. But the Friends sitcom was great as well. We had some good shit before the lunatics took over the asylum. So I'll see you tomorrow in the morning, 10 a.m. UK time, for Saturday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Wow, I'm knackered, but it was worth it. Enjoy chatting to you all. See you tomorrow. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. See you tomorrow, everyone. I'm even losing my words. I'm so damn tired. I've been talking back to back for 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wow. See you later. See you tomorrow.